Hello everyone and welcome back to a long-awaited episode of What's This Wednesday here on the channel, and today we're taking a quick look, and by quick look I mean an extended look, at the new game by Wayforward, River City Girls. Now this game is in the same vein as other River City franchise games. So this game does, in fact, take place in the River City world, because they have like a whole list of games that are under River City Rampage and all that stuff, and so they all follow this sort of universal continuity, almost, but they all do sort of take place in this area called River City. So River City Girls is essentially a, I don't want to say revitalization, but a newer twist on that whole River City genre, where the two main girls, Misako and Kyoko, have their boyfriends kidnapped, and so you've got to beat up literally everyone in the town on your way to find out who took your boyfriends. Pretty much the exact same thing that happened in River City Ransom way back on like the NES days. You know, some thugs come up, punch your girl, take her. Actually, I think that was Double Dragon. Either way, River City Ransom, people come in, take your girls, and so you have to fight everyone on the streets all the way until you can get up to the big bad who stole your girlfriends and win them back. Abobo is a boss in River City Ransom, and he makes his return as like a movie star almost kind of thing in this world, in that he's part of the tutorial level. You can actually see him on a projector in the background teaching you about a bunch of stuff, and it's actually quite fun how they take some of the old River City aspects and bring them back for the new ones. So on this What's This Wednesday, it's going to be a bit different, because usually I only play the games for a few hours going up into them, just to save time and sort of give it as a first impressions look. But I was having an absolute blast with this game, and I didn't put it down. I streamed a little bit of it to try and capture footage, and I just ended up beating the game shortly after that. So yeah, this is going to be more of like an in-depth review-ish, more than like a first impressions video, so hopefully you'll enjoy that, but I'll try and keep it a bit concise. So River City Girls is, once again, a game set in the River City universe, which this time around, it's got amazing, wonderful character design in both the main characters and even some of the enemies. Now, the enemies are going to be your basic standard enemies that are always in beat-em-ups. They're going to be, you know, one unit does one thing, like one bad guy you fight does one thing, and they have different colored hair, or different colored jackets, or different colored skin, and that's what denotes different strengths of the enemies. So pretty much palette swaps are how you figure out which enemies are tougher than others. There are going to be a few different colors at the beginning of the game that are like, oh, these are the basic guys, but oh, that guy's in red, that means that guy's stronger, that kind of thing. But you have your two main characters, Kyoko, who's the ponytailed red-haired girl with the Letterman's jacket, and Misako, who is your I think they're shorts. There's some sort of shorts. I'm not big on fashion, so I don't know what to call them. But they're shorts, and she usually uses like knuckles and fists, and she likes to headbutt and punch stuff. So Kyoko is a very kick-oriented character, and Misako is a very punch-heavy character with your heavy-hitting attacks. And each girl actually has stats when they level up that go up in accordance to their fighting style. So Kyoko will be better in certain aspects than Misako will as you level up their characters. And you do get to level up their characters in this game, so there's a mild RPG aspect to this. And in true River City fashion, you always start out wherever the characters first find out bad stuff happens to their loved ones, their partners, and so in this game, you're sitting in detention, and so you have to break out of detention by defeating everybody in the school and going through the school and defeating, like, the hall monitor, who's actually part of the school defense force, which is a hilarious name for a troop. And then you can go out into the city and start beating up everybody out on the way of the city. One thing this game does that's a bit different from other River City titles, or at least the original River City Rampage, is that you can actually recruit some of the fallen enemies into your team to use as like assist attacks in sort of like a Marvel vs. Capcom-esque way, how you can sort of set assist characters as buttons and bring them in and they'll do their attacks. And so if there's one character, if you leave one last character on the screen out of like the regular spawn group and you beat them up until they get downed, and they'll actually wake up and they'll start pleading for their safety. If you go up to them, grab them, and press L to spare them, I was playing this on the Switch, so it was L for me. But if you spare them, they will join your team, and then you can summon them later to do their special move. Some of them, like one of the best ones in the early game, is just the high school boy. He throws pocket sand in people's eyes, which stuns them, and it stuns everybody it hits, and it's absolutely wonderful. Later on, you'll get people that do like massive long-range attacks or like aerial hits, and there's a lot of customization to your characters that way. But the bread and butter to River City Girls is the combo system. Now, you can have a ton of moves that you can unlock by going and visiting Billy and Jimmy, who are from Double Dragon, but they're running dojos here, and they're actually voiced by Aaron Hansen and Dan Avidan of Game Grumps, which is absolutely amazing. As soon as I heard Dan's voice, it was out of this world. It was crazy. There's a lot of references to YouTubers too, like Jacksepticeye, and I think Markiplier's in here, and there's just a ton of people. So if you're a huge fan of online video game personalities, you'll be able to pick up all these people. Even Ross O'Donovan's in there. It's crazy. So going to either of these two dojos will help you purchase move sets, like moves that you can buy with the money that you accrue from punching people into change. Yes, just like the Scott Pilgrim games, when you defeat people, they kind of burst into change, and then you can pick it up and use it to buy food or buy special attacks. And I'm going to give you a few tips and tricks for this game just out of the gate, just because I had a little bit of a rough time in the beginning because I wasn't sure exactly what I should be doing with my money, and I was also dying a lot because I wasn't buying the right moves to do in the early game. So you're going to want to start off by buying a lot of the level 0 or low level moves first, because that will help you build up your combos as you punch, so you're not just stuck doing 3-hit combos for like 6 hours like I was, because I was stupid. So go ahead and buy your earliest moves that you can buy. They're usually the cheapest as well. Don't save up for bigger moves. It's not like they do anything special. Most of the expensive ones are just special moves, which are good, but they're usually combo enders, which you want to save until you actually get your full combo. Like, I played as Misako for almost the entire game, and some of her combos you can link into like 5 hits, knock people up with a super move, and then link it into another super move that will knock down everybody that it hits it along the way, or do extra damage if you kick somebody into the enemies that you just knocked up into the air that are falling. So there's a lot of ways to link like your ground moves to your aerial moves and juggle combo people. It's insane, and it's got a lot of versatility and replayability if you want to go through and play as different characters. There are unlockable characters, by the way. I'm not going to mention who, but there definitely are unlockable characters in the game, so keep your eyes out. And that's pretty much the bread and butter of this game, is the beat-em-up style, is going through, seeing all the wonderful character designs, especially in the bosses. The bosses have some of the craziest character designs, and there is one boss that has just absolutely is the best boss, and I'm not going to spoil it, but she is amazing. She's a little bit near the end of the game, and her name is Noise. That's all I'm saying. You'll know, if you're playing the game, you'll know who I'm talking about. I'm not going to spoil it. She's fantastic. Her boss fight is insanely great, and it's so unique for like a side-scrolling beat-em-up, and I'm just so happy that they did this. But speaking of like fights, music is the jam in this game. The music is done super well, and every now and then you'll come across not jukeboxes, but stereos that people have left around, and that will actually change the music in the background because it's playing a radio station. And you'll learn that if you actually listen to the lyrics of those songs, you can sort of get like a hidden story. I'm not going to mention what it is or do it, but some of those like stereo songs are some of the best songs in the game. And they're great because they're kind of like moody and ethereal, and they really give you like an insight as to what's happening with some of the characters or certain characters, depending on where you are and if you're listening proper. So the music in this game is definitely top tier, but what do you expect from Arc System Works and Wayforward? They pretty much crush every game that they make. Wayforward is... I've never been disappointed by a Wayforward game. Shantae series has tight controls and is great. The Shovel Knight game was absolutely, once again, tight controls and was great. And now River City Girls, tight controls, and it was great. I can't recommend a game more right now, especially if you're looking for like a cheaper game, maybe around the $25 to $30 area. It was about $35 for me Canadian, that's after taxes, so my Canadian dollar's not doing too heavy right now against American dollar, so you're going to have to translate that into whatever you will, but it's available, I believe, on PS4, Switch, I think even maybe Steam, so go ahead and pick it up on your platform of choice. I'll do a little research, and it'll be in the title of the video on which platforms you can pick it up on, because I always try and do that for you guys listening into the episodes, just that way if you're interested in the game, you know where to look for it. And yeah, once again, I can't recommend this game more. It's absolutely fantastic, and if you're tuning into the channel, I might even stream this on New Game Plus coming up soon, because I want to see what other stuff I missed by going through and play as different characters and see how they go through the game and how they fight and how they quip and things that they say and how they interact with other characters, just because it's absolutely wonderful. The polish on this game is so good. There's a few things that are like janky about it, but I guess that could be contributed to retro-inspired, or it could be fixed later on. It depends, but the attention to detail when it does come to areas that matter is amazing. Like when Kyoko and Misako are speaking as like narration or characters about talking where they need to go, you can still move around as them and fight other people, but the portraits at the top of the screen will become animated and like pop out a little bit and like lean up against their frame and look down at the battlefield below and interact with each other. So those frames that are usually just to indicate which player's who actually come alive and do something, which is a great use of space and a great use of assets that they now have in the game, and it's something that I can't recall seeing too often in gaming, so it was very fresh, very unique to have that sort of, you know, that static portrait that's usually there for your character actually come alive and interact with things that are happening. But yeah, I'm going to hopefully try not to use too many spoilery clips in this episode here. I want to keep it sort of fresh. I'm going to show you some early game stuff, nothing usually past the first 2 bosses, just that way you guys can keep it fresh, and if you'd like to experience it, you can. Or you can, you know, catch some of my streams. I'm going to be playing this again soon. Subscribe, hit the bell, all that jazz to make sure that you know when I go live for playing River City Girls New Game Plus. But yeah, the level design, the character design, music, the control feel, it's all minimum 4 to 5 stars. Like, you're not gonna feel terrible playing this game. There's a few things that are a bit frustrating, like if you're fighting over top of a stage exit, what can happen is as you're mashing the button to attack, you will actually activate the stage exit and you'll exit the stage or that level and go to the previous screen. So there is that sort of glitch here and there where it can be, you know, inconvenient, but you'll learn to sort of avoid it by being like, oh, I know this is going to happen, so I'm going to move out of the way. The pretty much same thing with interacting by picking up objects like weapons or picking up people, because you can also pick up people and use them as weapons or throw them. And that's a thing that can also happen with your combos, and that's a little annoying, but if you know how to sort of work around it, which isn't a big workaround at all, it's like, I'm just going to move a little bit to the left or a little bit up, and then it's good, it won't happen anymore. So it's not like you have to actively be like, oh, I have to go into the settings and make sure I never use this attack, etc. It's just sort of, you know, make sure your positioning on the screen is proper by, you know, move up or down a few pixels and you're fine. But other than that, the game is a solid 4 out of 5. I absolutely cannot wait to continue playing it on New Game Plus, and I really hope this game gets a sequel or some extra stuff, maybe DLC, but everything from the animated intros to the animated cutscenes to the voice acting to the music to the character design to the level design to just the overall feel of the game, it was exactly what I needed right now, and I'm so happy to have been able to play it. But yeah, if you've enjoyed what you've heard here today, if you've enjoyed what you've seen on screen, please go ahead, support the game, pick it up on your platform of choice, and, you know, maybe come and watch some of my streams, interact with me, ask me questions about the game, or just sit, chat, and watch. It'll be well worth your time. This game is an absolute gem. It is precious, and I am so very glad that I gave it a chance. And thank you all for joining me on this What's This Wednesday for River City Girls. And once again, this show will come back on another random Wednesday whenever I finally get the time between work and find a game that sparks my interest, and we'll do this sort of mini review here for you. But until next time, take care everybody, and I'm looking forward to another random Wednesday. Oh man. Oh my god, what the hell just happened? What the hell just happened? She uber bopped me.